The first three seasons of Digimon from the 90s. Or it was
Did you hear
1999
that?
2000.
Do you hear that? Like
The little whistle.
No, all our female audience is like clicking away right now because they don't want to hear two grown men talking.
Nothing makes a woman moist like hearing about Digimon. They're digital monsters.
I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite language learning app such as Duolingo, but it could be. It really could be. Guys, Duolingo is amazing, and if you don't take your lessons, nothing will happen to my family, right? Duolingo, please. Guys, please use the app, please. I miss my kids. I miss my kids. Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Unloading Meat. I am your host, the one and only Jared Ralphie Allen, and on today's guest, we have the one, the only, the almost unbookable Mauricio Flores. What's up, Mauricio?
Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? Welcome to the studio finally.
Man, I love this studio. I'm geeking out.
Yeah, we should have it, man. We should have you listed as unbookable.
There you go.
For those that don't know, we've tried to have him on here like what 3-4 times, and then it's my shit. We had shit happen. Essentially, shit happen.
Hey, shit happens. You know. Can we cuss this early?
Yeah, we can catch this early.
I mean,
I always do a teaser in the beginning too. We have the intro and stuff. I make sure that 30 seconds get skipped really fast. Turn that up.
Wrong.
There we go. Got some Trump in there.
Gay.
Man, I love this studio, man.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
telling you, I'm almost geeking out.
It's called divorce.
Yeah. You know what? Like I told you earlier,
That's my favorite joke.
My '90s kid is like running crazy inside me right now.
Yeah, I did. I mean,
it's
Hasbro,
amazing.
sponsor the shit out of me. Come on, Hasbro.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
I mean, Marvel, this and that. You know what? I just didn't know this. You don't have a lot of anime.
I'm not a big anime guy.
Okay,
I never really was raised around it. The only anime, it is technically an anime because it's still going still too. I'm a big Digimon guy.
Cool.
And my 6-year-old is now into Digimon. I'm getting her it's on Hulu. The first 3 seasons of Digimon from the 90s. Or it was 1999 2000.
Do you hear that? Like
The little whistle.
No, all our female audience is like clicking away right now because they don't want to hear two grown men talking.
Nothing makes a woman moist like hearing about Digimon. They're digital monsters.
Oh my goodness. You gotta love him. You gotta love him.
But my one fucking vibrator joke.
Don't worry. We'll talk about what's his name? The really pretty boy comedian guy.
Jared Ralphie Allen.
Besides you, the
Matt
Rife.
Yeah,
Matt.
Yeah, the TikTok guy.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt Rife.
You know how crazy they were going for like a couple weeks about, oh my God, the tickets.
I more loved the comedian's reaction to Matt Rife coming to town. It was so much fun watching people be like, fuck that guy. He's just a pretty boy from TikTok. And I'm like, he's fucking selling tickets, bro. He's fucking funny as fuck. Like, I don't know. Like,
no, he is funny. Well, let me put it to you this way. A lot of people just found out about him.
Yeah.
But you gotta think about, he's been on TV forever.
Yeah.
He wasn't wilding out. That's a big show.
Well, the thing that got me respect is if you go on Reddit, there was early pictures of him being like at the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store, like as a teen, and he's watching like Eliza Schlesinger and stuff like that, and he's in the crowd, like he's watching real comics, like he's a fan, like he's a student of the game kind of shit. And I'm like, I can't bash that guy. If he's not my cup of tea, he's not my cup of tea. I don't know, but I thought he was funny.
No, he's working.
Yeah.
Where he's at right now is where he has to be because he put in the work.
I'm never gonna shit on anybody doing the work.
And then that's funny that you bring up that, because as a person, my next goal is to be known as a comedian.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can call myself a comedian yet.
Maybe
I can.
Have you gone on stage and talked on a mic?
Yes, I have.
You're a comedian right now.
Oh, this is like therapy.
Yeah. Told you this couch gets real, man.
Yeah.
We've had guests on this couch where like I'll put it on an episode and it's like an hour and a half or so, but like we've talked on the couch for like 3, and it just gets cut because shit gets real.
And this couch is comfortable.
It is.
I don't care what people say. This country is comfortable.
Well, I've choked. I've not choked my mom, but
Oh.
I've joked with my mom. That was a
bleep that
Freudian
out.
slip. Not. We're gonna choke that out of submission. No, I joked with my mom because my mom's a therapist, and I'm like, I kind of got that gene passed down. Like I have it here. I found my niche, and it's like talking to comedians about their dick and balls.
Yeah, we need therapists in this world. We need therapists. 2023 is different.
Yeah.
It's a different world. It's a different world. Yeah, like I said, he put in the work. He's where he needs to be. He's selling out. He's doing shows.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And I cannot hate on him. And just like you said, he's a student of the game and a fan. That's what I consider myself first. I'm a student, a fan, and then whatever comes after that.
Yeah, like I mean, I tell people on the podcast stuff. Like I'm a student of the game of like I have my notepad out when if I watch like a Your Mom's House or we talked off camera about like Bad Friends or like Tiger Belly and stuff, and that was an inspiration for me before I started this was Tiger Belly. I have a notebook out and I'm watching camera angles. I'm taking notes on like the lighting and stuff like that. I'm doing that shit as I'm watching an episode. Like that's just how that's just kind of what helped make this. That's just how my mind works, and I can appreciate the other people doing that shit. And then there's also that like, I'm so glad you brought up Matt Rife because I've been wanting to talk about him on the podcast for a bit. Even though
we're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight.
Even though we fucking bashed his name or we butchered his name.
Whenever you're listening.
Yeah. Subscribe now.
Yeah. Like and comment if you agree or don't agree.
Hit
just
that
like
little bell. Treat it like a clit, and you just fucking go at it.
There you go.
Yeah. Softly. Consensually.
Consensually. Yeah, definitely. Or however she likes it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, no, we don't need to. On YouTube, we're gonna make sure we always say consensual.
Oh no! First of all, it's gonna be consensual, but then it's gonna be however she likes it.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, no, he's a great
That's
guy.
a weird Venn diagram.
He's a great guy. I'm telling you. I never met him.
Mauricio's over there just digging. No, we were talking about Matt Rife. Another edit right there. No, we were talking about Matt Rife, but like we talked about like the comedians' reactions in town of like whenever he came into town and stuff like that. And like then there's the bigger talk about. I'm sure you've seen it. There's some comedians that are like the anti-crowd work, or they hate that there's this rise of crowd work that's coming up on like clips and stuff like that on TikTok, and like the rise of the crowd working material, crowd work comedians. Because Matt Rife is historically a crowd working comedian.
Ain't nothing
Crowd.
wrong with that.
Go ahead.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
I mean,
Crowd work, boys and girls, allows you not to burn your actual jokes when you post them online. If you actually want to get big and you actually want to post shit and you don't want to waste all your great material for people to pay for, do crowd work.
right.
That's what gets you popular. That's what gets you famous. And then they come and buy the tickets to see your show and you give them the actual material.
Yeah. And then another thing is about your personality. If you're talking to people, they understand that you're cool.
Yeah.
That you're just cool with people. You're just a chill dude.
Yeah.
And people are gonna know that.
Well, we also talked about I had Boyd on here last week, and we talked about what's it called? There's a literary term whenever you introduce something in a book or to an audience. It's not red herring, it's not MacGuffin. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, like, if you introduce something, the audience is expecting you to use it or for it to come up.
Okay.
And if you don't, there's something that's kind of let down by that.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called, but like there's a literary term for it. But basically,
If you know, comment down below.
it's gonna bother the fuck out of me. We're gonna edit this in.
If you know, comment down below. If you agree or disagree, comment down below.
I'm calling Boydheimer right now. We're gonna get him on the air.
Yeah.
Let's see if he answers. This is our phone a friend.
Do.
Boyd, I had to phone a friend. You're live on the UnloadingMeat podcast with Mauricio Flores. I need your help, buddy.
What's up?
What did we talk about on last week's show about the literary term that's used if you bring something into the story, it has to be used?
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun.
Huh.
That's what it has to be. Thank
Okay,
you very
okay.
much, Boyd.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You take care, man.
You too.
Thanks. Chekhov's gun. That's what it is. So
Nice.
if something's in there, it has to be used. Otherwise, it's kind of like a letdown kind of thing.
Mhm.
When I talk to other comedians that are like at open mic stuff like that, and they forget to move the mic stand or they forget to move the chair, something's like in the way, competing for attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what that is. It's like the audience is like expecting you to use it because it's there, and if you don't use it, it's kind of like a subconscious kind of letdown, like you didn't use it. I don't know, and if you actually do use that kind of stuff, like there was times that like Sesh where Trash put up that wallpaper and it has like that brick wallpaper like look on it now. I was like, I feel like I'm fucking trapped in a Windows 95 screensaver. Like, you know, it's like if you comment on that shit, it's already built in. And if you riff or you crowd work about other people's material, like if you go up like towards the end and you riffed on somebody else's shit, like it's built in rapport with the audience because they've already been there and they've already, you know, you've seen the scenery or anything. So when you're crowd working that kind of shit, you get a lot more brownie points on it because it's already built in subconsciously, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
Because they're already noticing all that shit. I never want to treat an audience like an idiot.
Right.
I hate that shit.
Right.
If they're coming to a comedy show, I'm expecting them to at least be able to tell intent and
you also gotta admit, I mean, people come to a comedy show to laugh.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, sometimes comedy can be smart.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can leave the show learning something new.
Yeah. And also laughter is infectious too. Like even if you didn't necessarily like it or didn't get the joke, possibly the person to the left or right of you might have, and if they're laughing really hard or they're just going with it, you're probably gonna get along with it and laugh a little bit too. And it's kind of like the Emperor's New Clothes kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
The mob mentality kind of thing. That's also like whenever I did the open mic set or something like that, I want to go sit down in front and I want to go laugh with the crowd too. I want to like be helpful and generous in my laugh whenever other people are performing too. You know, the more we laugh, the more everybody's gonna laugh.
When was your first open mic, if you don't mind me asking? Besides the back in the day.
Oh, back in the day.
Besides that.
So a year ago, I got my feet wet when Katie Style did one at Tulsa Comedy Club.
Okay.
That was my first time in like 14 years at the time, and I tried it and I got my feet wet. It was okay. I was one of the last three comedians, and I think I've said it on here before, but like. The last three comedians were getting ready to go up, and she gets handed a note, and it says, cut them all to 4 minutes.
Okay.
So she goes, hey, guys, I just got handed a note. Unfortunately, the next three of you guys only get 4 minutes each. Coming up next, Jared Ralphie Allen. And I had to walk up to the stage and shave a minute off my first set. As I'm walking up to the stage, I'm like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I got through it, but it wasn't great. But it wasn't bad.
Right.
Hey,
for people that have never been talking in front of an audience, even 5 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
Unless you're used to that concept, but 4 minutes, it's good, and it will get you, you know, to say whatever you want to say. But like I said, it feels like forever the first time.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to try it, go ahead and do it. But
I mean, it gave me a lot of, gave me a good lesson right off the bat of just like being more modular with my jokes and how I wrote a set, of being able to take out certain things and like shave off a minute if I need to and be like, you know, be more modular is what it really came down to. So I learned from that, and then I didn't do it again until January of this year.
okay.
January of this year, after I, you know, like I said, I was building this and building the podcast. First off, I was going to be just a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to do stand-up anymore. And then I just kept getting that itch. I wanted to do stand-up. And then like all the podcasts that I would listen to are stand-up podcasts. That just happened. Like, it's just like naturally, I love stand-up. I just adore comedy and making people laugh.
Yeah. I mean, myself, man, I've been a fan of comedy since I was little.
Yeah.
Like, I was a young kid, and whereas Spanish comedians, whereas English comedians, you'd be surprised, like, the range there is in comedy is, like, in English, bro, I love John Mulaney.
John Mulaney's fucking awesome.
Funny. I mean, Eddie Griffin, Joe Rogan, like so many. There's so much.
To this day, John Mulaney, if you've never listened to the Salt and Pepper Diner, listen to that. It is one of the all-time favorite jokes I've ever heard him do. It's
the
on his
one
album.
where they
the jukebox.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man,
That
whole
story.
I was dying when I first heard that.
Because like even it's on his album, and it's like, I love storytellers where you can just vividly picture every single aspect of what they're telling you. Like, I could picture that diner. I could picture the waitresses. I could picture everything just because he's such a good storyteller.
Yeah.
And
what was the song?
It was
Hey there, pussycat.
It's not unusual, by Tom Jones.
Okay.
Or no, What's New Pussycat?
Yeah.
They did What's New Pussycat like 7 times, and they put in there one. It's not unusual.
Yo, like I was dying when I first
Yeah.
heard that. I was cracking up. And like the funny part, I was at work and I was listening to them on my headphones, and next thing you know, I'm just going crazy, and people are just looking at me like, "What is going on?" Now that was, man. I had to listen to that like 3 times that same day.
Yeah,
'cause
it never gets old. It's so good.
He's great, man. And like I'm saying, we're just naming legends here. You know, people that have been doing this for a long time. And like I said, I'm first a fan, then I'm whatever comes next.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'm just gonna tell you, I mean, John Mulaney, Eddie Griffin, Kevin Hart. I mean, Kevin Hart started off, you know, in Wild 'N Out, just like my Rife. And Cat Williams. I mean, wow.
Do you remember the years of like, what's his Kevin Hart being in just like background in movies for years and never being famous? Like he was in Scary Movie 3 and shit like that. And you're just like, oh, he's just a small bit part.
Yeah. Oh, the whole mouse inside, rat outside bit. Oh man. Yeah. We're going back in time now.
And it took forever for him, and then he just popped off. Like
Yeah.
it just like it took him a bit, and then you're
Early
like, oh, he's been on for a while.
But like we're explaining to people, it doesn't happen right away.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta. There's a. I don't want to say it like this. Before you. Okay. There's an analogy. Of the putting the weed in the bag.
Okay.
First you gotta put it in the bag, then you can go and sell it and do whatever you want. But first you gotta put it in the bag.
Yeah.
Little by little. But
yeah.
So.
Is that like a don't smoke on your own supply kind of thing?
I think it's more like know where to start before you make it.
Oh,
before you take the next step.
I thought this was like a scene from Pineapple Express or something.
No, actually, I read it. I heard this in an audiobook. So.
Oh.
Yeah. I listen to everything. I'm a big hip hop guy too. So.
Who's your okay? If you had to do top, let's say 5.
Ooh.
I don't want to do top 1 because that's always hard.
Not top 5. Now are we talking all time, or are we just talking like
your faves?
My favorite.
If you had, to
I
make
mean,
a list,
Eminem has to be there.
I would say that.
I mean, I'm not gonna say he's number 1 just because they're like it's different. There's different
levels and stuff like that. Too.
Yeah, and storytelling. Nas.
I was waiting for
Rapper. I mean, I don't know if I want to put JC on it, but I know he's big.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stick to East Coast, but you know that's where he all started.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas. You know, Young Thug. He's a great rapper. I know he's new school, but he's great.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have the Yale.
I gotta throw Kendrick in there. I like Kendrick.
Kendrick. Oh, how did I forget? Kendrick.
Kendrick. I mean,
J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Ooh. Drake.
I know it's a cop out, but one of my all time favorites is Wu-Tang Clan. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's multiple members, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
like, did you ever watch the show on Hulu?
Yes.
It's a great show.
It is a great show.
It's pretty raw too. It's like how they show the bad parts of it too a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a great show.
And it's just like this, like it shows how it starts. They don't start off right off. You know,
Yeah.
they still gotta put in the work. They still gotta. It's steps. It's
Yeah.
steps. You know what? I heard you talking about this once. I don't know if you ever got around to finishing, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
On Prime. Did you ever get to finish?
I
the whole
never
thing?
finished it. I need
Man,
to.
that's one of my favorite shows.
Really?
Honestly. See?
Mostly because I just don't have Prime. I just never had Prime for a while.
Oh, okay. You have Amazon Prime at all?
Not right now.
Okay.
I just never used it. I mean, I used it during this stuff, like, you know, figures and stuff like that, and like, for a while. But like now, I just I never watched Prime Video.
Right.
Right now, I think I just watch Hulu.
The Boys. You
I watched The Boys. I never finished The Boys actually though.
Okay.
I need to. Like I said, I did have Prime.
Yes. You gotta. Man, I'll pass you my password for
There
one.
we go.
But that's a great show.
We all share shit. I have my Max and I have my Hulu. Like there's comedians on my Max. Like there's a profile just for friends. Because I'm like, we gotta watch this show on Max. You gotta watch this show.
But there's so much content out now.
I know.
I mean, so much. You cannot keep up with it.
I just finished The Righteous Gemstones.
Where's that at?
It's on Max.
It's on Max.
It is fucking hilarious. That is a great show. It has John Goodman in it. Danny McBride, Adam, the guy from Workaholics, and he's also
the one that has the meme
with the
with
faux hawk.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Adam Devine, I think his name is. He's from Workaholics. You'd probably see him. Like he's in the what's those fucking singing movies? They did 3 of them. Pitch Perfect.
Okay.
Uh,
The singing movies.
that guy.
Oh yeah. He's great.
So it's a family of evangelical preachers, and they're like the billionaire, like the big mega church preachers, and John Goodman's the head of it. And it's about him and his 3 fucked up kids that are like the preachers, living on this big ass billionaire estate and everything, and like still trying to preach the word of God, and also like it's just a comedy show, but it's very funny, and it's like about Southern Baptist kind of families and stuff like that.
John Goodman can do no wrong.
Yeah, he's great in it.
You remember him on Flight, the Denzel Washington movie where he's like a big alcoholic.
I skipped that movie. I never watched Flight.
Bro,
I need to watch it. I think I own it.
Yeah,
I think I have a Voodoo account. I have like 900 movies on there because like I fucking
that's a great
collect
movie. Like it's great, man. There's so much content though.
Yeah,
so much content. We're making content.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, everything's content. I mean, like, honestly, dude, like. We talked about Trash earlier. He was calling me earlier. Trash taught me.
What's up, Trash?
Trash,
how you doing?
Shout out to Trash.
Yeah, big shout outs, man.
He was my season 2 premiere.
Whoa, hold on. While we're shouting out people,
Yeah.
Roscoe.
Shout out Roscoe.
Roscoe. That's probably the first guy that got me on a stage. And man, if I ever make it big or anything, he's my godfather in Tulsa comedy.
He gave me my first showcase at Cellar in February. Yeah,
people can, like have their own opinions, but that dude is legit. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't even know if there's levels yet. I know Tulsa is gonna pop.
Yeah.
Eventually, and it's gonna grab a big chunk.
Yeah.
And whoever's in it is in it. And then, man, because you also gotta think about it. How I see life is when it's your time, regardless what you do. As long as you keep working, as long as you stay focused. Like myself, I have a full-time job. And I do comedy when I can. And it's a passion.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a passion. I don't even know if I'm going to make it. But I'm here right now.
Yeah.
And at least if I don't make it, I can say, at least I tried.
Yeah.
I have a good friend who does... I don't want to say low budget films, but they're more independent.
Yeah.
And he was explaining to me the game of how he's doing those movies and everything. Yeah.
That kind of.
No. I like the jam though. I was like, where have I heard it before?
You know what that is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Describe that.
And he was telling me the game about it. He's like, yo, I might never be famous, but at least I got to say I did it. And that's the people I like to be around.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, if we're chasing comedy and you don't want to be negative, you never want to be a negative person.
Yeah.
Because if somebody else is breathing the same air as you are, bleeding the same blood as you are, man, and they're doing it, there's nothing keeping you from doing it.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about Mount Rife earlier. Like, it's just like, I'm never going to shit on anybody doing the work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if you didn't like their cup of tea or like that, it's their they're doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it on here. I don't really expect to get famous from this. I don't want to be a famous comedian, from this podcast or like that. But if it allows me to pay the bills and allows me to do what I want, but doing what I love, which is podcasting and doing stand-up comedy and making people laugh, and allows me to pay for my kids and stuff, that's all I want from this. And like, that's kind of where my goals are. They're very realistic on that shit. Is just kind of getting some sponsors, getting this thing going, and trying to just push as much as I can. Yes, a lot of it's going to come down to luck as far as like, getting those bookings and stuff like that. Sometimes it just happens. But I also am a big supporter of you can make your own luck, but just by being ready. Like, if you always do the work and you're just ready for an opportunity, that's how you can make your own luck versus just being, just being handed something.
And like another thing is, I'm all for whoever's like putting 100% of their time in it. Yeah. I'm rooting for you, man.
Yeah.
Whoever's doing that, I'm rooting for you. Myself, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
So I still gotta keep a job. I still gotta be able to provide. I'm not gonna be the person that wants to be, I'm gonna follow my dream, but I'm gonna leave everybody else behind while I do it. No, you don't wanna be that, because they're still gonna catch up to you eventually. Yeah. So you still wanna be a legit person, take care of your business, and like how I'm doing it right now, I'm just taking care of business.
Yeah.
in every other way that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You know, financially, this and that, this and that. I don't want to say nothing about no deadbeat dads, but they're out there, you know, and you know who you are. But you also want to be able to do that. And once you have that free time, now you can invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize, but going to open mics, you still, we're not getting paid for open mics. Nope. You're still investing. Even that little drink that you buy at the bar, that's investing in yourself.
You know what I told
Driving
my dad? I told my dad it's like we're interning.
Exactly.
We're interning for the bigger things.
Yeah. And sometimes people want to get a drink or two when they doing the open mics. Yeah. It's like getting that lawyer you're interning for, like their Starbucks.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. Like, I mean, even driving up to here, it's an investment in yourself.
Well, and yeah, I'm grateful for everybody that does that because, like, also, like, we talked off camera, like, you know, for a while there, I wasn't saying this was the Bartlesville podcast or where I was coming from because I had some people cancel.
Bartlesville!
Yeah. But now I'm proud of it because, like, I don't know, I do this 3 to 4 times a week, going to these open mics, and I'm putting in the effort to try to get better and, you know, really put out my name in there and doing these open mics and doing, you know, last Thursday we did the one in Broken Arrow.
Oh, that show
was fucking great. Shout out to Gene. Shout out to fucking Gene Barber.
I don't know if you can hear me clapping, but this was that show was amazing. Everybody killed. Everybody killed.
We had an awesome open mic at the Go Theater in Broken Arrow. And karaoke afterwards.
Yeah.
And it was a great time.
Shout out to the Moon event too, though.
Yeah. New management.
Yeah. They're great people. They're great people. Yeah. And I mean, and shout outs to all the people that are doing open mics. I mean, the Cellar,
Starlight,
Hug Club, and the Breakdown. Oh man, the Breakdown is so nice. Yeah. It's so, I mean, clearly it's a new building, but it's so nice. It's like well set up, and they got the monsters coming to Breakdown. Yeah.
That's kind of why, like. I mean, you've heard we said on my podcast. I kind of feel like Tulsa's on the bubble. You said on the same thing. That's where I really wanted to push to launch this year. Yeah, like get this going to where like when Bricktown launched, and eventually I wanted to get this content up enough to where like when a Bobby Lee comes into town, they can stop by the podcast and have a chat. I want to be big enough to where like when there's local comedians coming to Bricktown or something like that, they can refer them to the podcast here to help promote it.
Not just that. There's going to be a day where they're going to make a documentary about this or whatever's happening. No, there will be. There has to be. Yeah. I mean, it's foresight. And your content is gonna be valuable. They're gonna hit you up. Hey,
yeah,
Jared,
the back catalog's gonna be huge.
Hey, Jared, you got this and that. Oh, you were talking to him when you know it was like 5 years ago or whatever, and let us get some of that. And here's a check. You know, I mean,
and you know, like that's honestly like we talked about.
A lot of business talking right now.
Well, we talked about earlier about like you don't want to just go out alone. You don't want to like you want to take people with you and stuff like that. And like that's kind of what this podcast became. Was when I did that show in January at Roscoe's open mic, and then I got invited to the Colony afterwards and got to hang out with everybody and got kind of like introduced to like the burlesque dancers, the bands, and like everybody there. I met everybody in the scene like at one night at the what's it called the place I was just at. Anyway, the
Colony?
The what?
The Colony? Or
the Colony. Yeah, the Colony.
I've been there a couple times. Yeah.
But after that, it was like, I want to do a spotlight. I want to do a show about these people. Like, I want to talk to these people because, like, these people are fucking rad. And they were super nice and super supportive. And, like, everybody just kind of embraced me on that night. And that's really what turned this whole podcast around. I was like, I want to do a podcast and talk to these people.
Well, if you think about it, everybody has a story. Yeah. I'm not saying like it shouldn't matter whoever wants to talk, but everybody has a story. Everybody's here. Yeah. And we all been through stuff. And if it's positive or negative, you still want to let it out. And you never know. You might find out something that you didn't know about this person. You're going to be like, oh, that's crazy.
But not only that, but it's also kind of a, not that I'm using you guys as like ammunition or anything like that, but it's more just like, at the end of the day, I got to try to make it entertaining too. Yeah. Like, this is an entertainment podcast. Like, this is people consuming it. We're making content. Mm-hmm. We could have the most dramatic or, you know, philosophical stories on here, but at the end of the day, it still has to be entertaining. It has to have some humor into it or have some levity into it too. So that allows me to flex my improv skills and my writing abilities and stuff like that when I'm just talking to people I may not even know very well, and still trying to keep in the back of my mind, this has to be entertainment. This has to be entertainment. This has to be funny. You know what I mean? So when there's times where like it gets really dark or something like that, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to have some wrong, you know, just, you know, stuff like that, you know. It's like writing a good stand-up set. You don't ever want to dip the energy unless it's intentional.
And well, I mean, I agree with that 100%. But how can I say? Well, I mean, we're talking. We're here, and sometimes, something I like about the Joe Rogan podcast. That I listen to whatever the description is. Oh, FBI agent talks about UFOs, or comedian, blah 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 blah, has a podcast too, or athlete, this and that. But then you find out more stuff that were not even part of the description, and you can relate to them. Yeah, and I mean, I always want to be a relatable person, regardless.
Well, at the end of the day, we're all people.
Yeah.
And that's why I love podcasting just as a form of entertainment itself, just because, like, there's so much more you can get out of a 2-hour conversation than you can out of a 5-minute show, like on the Tonight Show or something like that. Like, I hate that it's on Sirius, but one of the best things that I think ever happened was that Conan O'Brien got his show canceled, or he quit doing the Tonight Show or the Late Show, and he switched to Team Coco doing podcasts. Conan O'Brien and his team doing podcasts with actors and celebrities is fucking entertaining as hell to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, he's a great interview person or interviewer. And going from a format of like a 5-minute just sitting on a couch talking, like, what's your latest movie you're doing? You're going to promote for 5 minutes. Changing that into a 2-hour discussion with an actor or something like that is so much more enthralling and entertaining. That's why I loved Howard Stern towards his later parts of those years. Like, after he started, like,
legends.
I love Howard Stern. I still respect the shit out of him, and like Private Parts is one of my all-time favorite movies. That movie was fucking influential on me.
Oh, definitely.
But in the early years there was a lot more shock, and towards the later years it became more interview style. He's a great interviewer. Like, Howard has some interviewing chops people don't really talk about a lot. Even his last book was just a collection of his best interviews, and that stuff I found more fascinating than just the fucking all the shock stuff that he would do some of the times. I mean, it's funny, and prank calls and stuff like that. But like, having a 2-hour discussion with Robert Downey Jr. about his dad and stuff like that is way more entertaining to me than fucking fart humor sometimes.
Definitely.
But there's a cause and effect. There's both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta have a good balance. You gotta have a good balance.
Yeah.
And man, it's like I said, you gotta make it entertaining for people, and
that's why I have my fake ad reads and stuff like that too.
Definitely. Yeah. I love those.
Yeah,
I love those.
Hey, fellow hipsters and people that have culture or something. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen, host of Unloading Meat, and we need sponsors for this show. If you identify with this fucked up hat I'm wearing, these shitty tattoos, or any other cultural references that are behind me, reach out to your favorite sponsors and tell them to sponsor the show Unloading Meat. Now, back to acting like I wasn't impressed by anything. I wish this podcast could be on vinyl.
When I watch podcasts, if you ever see them do an ad read or a break, probably because they had a phone call, or they had to take a shit, or they had to go to a smoke break, or something got said that needed to be cut because it was getting too personal. They needed a hard break to change the subject.
Yeah, that's
what happened. And so when I put my ad breaks, that naturally helps whenever there's a time where somebody has to go take a piss or something like that, or we had a phone call, or we got too real, we need to cut 20 minutes out of the conversation. It's going to be very jarring if I go from one conversation just a minute to another one. So those fake ad breaks and stuff like that play a very important part of making the flow keep going.
Interesting.
And like I said, I study all that shit.
Hey, that's all part of the editing game. All part of this. You're in this world.
Yeah.
Man. In this world. That's what I'm telling you earlier. Don't underplay yourself, man.
I appreciate
it. This setup is crazy. People don't. I know they're just looking at us through the cameras, but this is good.
Thanks,
this is great, man. This is great. You got a good thing going.
Well, and like, again, I really try to hammer this up. I try not to have an ego in all my shit, but I hate to name drop the name Josh Wolf. But like, when that thing happened where I was able to produce an episode of his podcast here, that was kind of life-changing and game-changing for me, as far as like the confidence of like, yeah, I do have a good thing going. Like, this is working. They liked it. They appreciated it. And they were like, yeah, you're good. Like, and honestly, that 2 hours that they were sitting here, and we did like an hour podcast, like 2 hours where we just got to chat and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
still going to go down in a resume.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Anyways.
Like literally, I can say when I launched my production studio, because I do my freelance stuff too, and my first client for my production studio is Josh Wolf.
Mm-hmm. That's big.
That's fucking huge, yeah. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud that like
You should be
3
man.
months into a podcast, I got Josh Wolf on the couch and I got to produce an episode for him.
There you go.
And I was a paid producer for
And
a
not just
podcast.
that, you have all kinds of people here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All walks of life, everybody, burlesque dancers, drag. I want everybody in here that's in the scene of Tulsa. I don't care if you're a comedian, burlesque, band, if you have a, if you're a guitarist, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
If we can have a good conversation, I want to have a rad conversation with you here. And if I can give a spotlight to somebody, do it. I try. I really try to put a lot of effort in my hosting and stuff. Like I try to take it seriously. And I honestly think this is kind of a cheat sheet for it too. I think this...
Because this is part of what we're talking. You're investing in yourself, and that's your investment paying off.
Yeah. But I'm just like be able to talk and host is what I'm getting at. Is like this right here is helping me develop those skills to just go host and riff on people on open mics and stuff like that.
But like I'm saying, you're correct. I'm not disagreeing with you. But people are watching.
Yeah.
So people like him, they're seeing, hey, this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He's literally bringing in a professional now to host his open mic, and he has faith in you because he knows you now.
And it paid off too, because like I talked to him afterwards and I was like this, this stuff. But I was like, my most important thing is if I get booked, I want the venue to make money.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody shows up or they didn't sell drinks or food, I feel like I failed them.
Yeah.
So at that open mic, we had a pretty decent turnout. Even people not even performing, they had a good crowd. We had a decent crowd
On a Thursday.
Yeah, on a Thursday. And karaoke afterwards had a decent crowd. And Gene came up to me personally afterwards, like, dude, you drew a crowd. Like, you brought a crowd. Like, thanks. Like, he was grateful.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, did you guys make money? He goes, yeah, we made a lot. We made decent money on food and alcohol. I was like, good. That's what I'm happy about. I was like, because if you made money, that means that it was worth the investment of asking me. And that's all I care about.
Yes, sir.
Because reputation matters. If you're not making money by booking me, you're not going to book me again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, like, there's times where I've heard the people get booked and, like, they do nothing to help promote it or do anything like that. Like, that shit's important to me. If I get booked, I'm blasting it on all my socials. I'm doing fucking Instagram reels.
As you should.
Show, that you're worth it.
Yeah. And I mean, we all have friends, our friends can just promote it to your friends. And that's 20 people, 10 people. That's already an accomplishment.
Yeah. Or, you know what else? We had a newbie that night.
Yes, and she was great.
And she was fantastic. She was great. Fantastic. Christy.
Yeah.
I can't remember her last name.
For her first time. Wow.
But that shit, because we promoted it like that, people like that will show up.
And I don't know if you asked her, but she drove all the way from Muskogee.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She followed me on Facebook. I think I followed her back. I can't remember her last name right now, but
yeah, she drove all the way from Muskogee.
she was great.
And I was just like,
and that's the shit that was mattered to me. And that's why I was like, even my first hosting time, I wanted to make sure that she felt welcomed. She felt comfortable. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen. The rules. I know you're probably nervous. This is how we're going to treat you. This is how we're going to take care of you and stuff like that. I wanted to make sure that she knew it was worth her drive to, coming from Muskogee, that she wasn't, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Yeah.
Because it can be scary when you're doing open mic in front of people.
Oh man, I remember my first time. I was shaking the first time I got off of stage.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. My first time was back in November. Oh, why are you drinking about light? Anyways, no, that's actually a pretty cool.
Because I want to ball with the ball.
And you know what? Apparently Modelo became the best-selling beer in the USA.
Really?
After that whole shebang happened. Which I didn't care for it, but
I love that photo.
But you know what? Whenever you hear something like Modelo became the best beer in the USA, it makes you proud. For some
Well, that's
reason.
because 2 years earlier, we already ruined the reputation of Corona.
Yes. Yes. If
That name got ruined so bad.
no, and you know what the crazy part is? Some people were relating it to Corona beer, and then you're like,
it was probably the same people that were attacking the 5G towers.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the 5G towers. Jesus Christ, everything's conspiracies.
I have.
What was that?
Oh, have you never seen that one? We may have to show you that video. Have you ever seen the grapefruit video?
No.
I might have to show you that.
All right.
It's this sound effect.
Interesting.
There is a black woman that has a famous YouTube video, and it's instructing women on how to give the best head using a grapefruit.
Okay.
and you cut the ends off of the grapefruit, and you
Okay.
place the dick through it, and then you give the head. And she's like, you're losing weight as you're giving head, and that's her
grapefruit.
because grapefruit's like, I guess, a diet thing.
Huh.
But apparently it feels amazing. But she tells this whole thing where she's like, you have to do it blindfolded because the guy's gonna be like, why the fuck are you putting a grapefruit on my dick? So you have to get it warm. She's like, cut it off, put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds, get it warmed up. Like all this fucking prep, then put it underneath the bed and then blindfold him and then act like you're giving him head and then put the fucking grapefruit on him. And then halfway through, take the blindfold off.
If we're doing something, you're never gonna blindfold me. I'm sorry.
Me either. Like, I'm not going to be blindfolded and you're going to have my dick and you're like anything.
No.
I've seen too many porns of those chastity cages and shit like that. That ain't never happened to me.
No, that's gonna be a
just
no,
like
mama.
the rest of my body.
That's
My
gonna be a
dick
no.
is claustrophobic. That's why I don't use condoms. Anyway,
Damn.
my pleasure. Anyway,
Bearskin.
ooh, tell me more.
Wrong.
Raw.
What else do I got? I got the Pornhub, and then my favorite one. I did this for what's her name? Never mind. I can't. Kels. My favorite meme or my favorite button.
I'm about to go down to Taco Bell and give me a blast.
King of the Hill, man. It's a classic.
They're bringing it back.
Are they?
Yeah, they're rebooting it. Everything's getting revived.
Yeah, and people are just running out of media. Well, IPs are just like, it's because people are not willing to take risks. In making something new.
Yeah, I mean, every single thing in the theaters is pretty much a comic book movie, and I'm a big Marvel guy, but like everything's either a franchise, a sequel, or a reboot.
Yeah,
it's very rare you get individual original movies.
Yeah, I mean, between me and my son, like Marvel movies is like almost like a religion. We just have to watch it on opening weekend. It's our thing. It's been our thing since he was 4. And I mean, we have a blast, man. We have a blast.
Did you watch the latest Spider-Man?
I love my kids, by the way. I don't think they should be watching this, but in case they are,
it's 18 plus.
Yeah, they hi.
Have you seen the latest Spider-Verse?
Yeah,
it's fucking amazing. I think that's one of my the most beautiful movies ever made.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is gorgeous.
It's better than the first one.
I agree,
and that's so hard to do.
Exactly, I agree.
That's really hard to do.
And
if the best one's better,
yeah,
this is gonna go down as a trilogy. That's probably one of the best things in cinema.
Agreed.
Period.
I honestly think also, and like, did you read comics? Do you read comics at all?
Yeah.
Miles Morales, he's an okay character in the comics. Honestly, he has not been fleshed out and been like a character that I actually give a shit about until the first movie, the second movie, and then the Spider-Man games.
Mm-hmm.
The games and the movies have really made him a character that people love. And in the comics, he's just not Peter Parker.
Well, the thing about it is people are so... I'm not going to say people in general, but the change is hard.
Yeah.
Change is hard for people.
Yeah.
And when you introduce a new Spider-Man, a lot of people don't want it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like Miles, the whole black and Latino thing, Puerto Rican and black from New York. Yeah. It's covering a lot of ground that eventually, they're going to add more characters like that. Yeah. And I'm all for it, but I also understand why people cannot accept change.
Yeah.
And I mean, just think about it. Hulu and FX doing the whole Reservation Dogs.
Yeah,
that was a great show.
Yeah,
and I feel like he's not getting the praise he needs, or he should have gotten.
Well, and also, it kind of dawned on me a little bit about that show specifically. Is I'm a big Reservation Dogs fan too. If you notice, that show was FX or like Hulu FX only. It wasn't actually on the FX channel.
Oh, okay.
Until like this year, like season 3, they started putting it out on other stuff, and like it kind of got popular as it like got more streaming. Mm-hmm. Like it's kind of like a cult following. It was only on Hulu, and even though Disney owns most of Hulu now, not a lot of people have Hulu, or not a lot of people watch Hulu. That's Hulu originals. Like it's one of the lower streamers in the U.S. and compared to like Netflix, Max, Disney Plus, and all those.
Well, I think what happened, when Peacock and and these other streamers started coming out, they started taking out their content from Hulu, and so now it has less and less things.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big SNL guy.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live. I used to watch the replay the next day.
Yep. Now it's on Peacock.
Yeah, and Hulu was my to go for that.
Yeah.
And now I gotta get Peacock to do that. And
I mean, I had Hulu Live TV for my wrestling and stuff like that for a while. That was what I used everything for. And then now I just torrent all my
speaking
wrestling.
of wrestling, The Fiend passed away.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt.
Yes. And, sorry guys, I'm really bad with names.
Oh, this will come out in like a month or two. So like,
yeah, man, I used to love wrestling growing up, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I probably will still watch it, but I lost the storylines. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I switched to AEW, and I have not looked back since.
Okay.
AEW has not let me down. The company treats its fans kind of like how we talked about with stand-up comedy. Like, you don't want to treat your audience like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
AEW, the storylines pay off. Like, there's things that are like Game of Thrones where, like, there's 2-year-plus storylines that are very interwoven and stuff in the complex.
Game of Thrones.
But, like, it's in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, dude, they just pulled off a massive achievement. I don't know if you heard about their Wembley show.
Mm-mm.
AEW is only 5 years old, or less than 5 years old.
Right. Yeah.
They sold out Wembley Stadium on Sunday. 81,000 people. Wow. They set the record for the biggest wrestling show in the world.
Wow.
And when I say that, it's because WWE's held those records for years. But WWE has lied about the numbers. They inflate them. They count everybody.
Oh, man, you don't trust Vince McMahon, man.
He's even on a podcast and said that they inflate those numbers. It's actually out there. So, like, the biggest one was like WrestleMania 32 was like 101,000 people in Texas or something like that.
Uh-huh.
They counted everybody that was working there, the medical personnel, everybody, not just paid attendance. And they counted everything. So the actual Arlington, Texas number is like 80,000 people, and they say on TV it's 101,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bullshit number that's made up.
Have you ever been to a WrestleMania?
Not a WrestleMania. I've been to Raw, SmackDown, and I've been to NXT.
Okay. I would love to go to a WrestleMania once.
I want to go to an AEW now. Like, that just sounds awesome. Like, they sold out Wembley, and it was fucking an incredible fucking show.
Yeah.
Like,
I probably need to jump back on and check this out, man.
Dude, I think you would love AEW because, like, the wrestling's great. It's phenomenal. The storylines make sense.
Well, it was founded by a wrestler, right?
It's founded by multiple wrestlers. Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. And it was formed basis off of a bet.
What was the other wrestling promotion that was out a few years ago? TNA.
Now it's Impact Wrestling. They changed their name.
I thought Impact was only one of their shows.
No, it was. So they had Impact as the name of the show, and then they rebranded the entire company as Impact Wrestling because
Are they still out there?
Yeah.
On TV or not?
I think they're on like some really low like access TV or something like that.
Okay.
But they're a small company.
Yeah.
They had their height and then they just didn't grow. They didn't.
Yeah, because they brought back Sting for a while.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
which now he's in AEW and he's doing great.
He's still around?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro. Yeah.
Wow. Like active?
Okay.
Like active?
They treat Sting like a legend.
He is a legend.
And like WWE kind of treated him bad whenever they brought him in that last year.
Yeah, because they weren't they trying to do like a Undertaker Sting match and
it never happened.
Never happened. Undertaker also a legend.
Well, look at that, dude. They let him like have his full thing, and he's still doing top rope dives and shit. This is a coffin match.
Right.
He did a fucking coffin match.
And he's not a small dude.
No.
Like, I'm surprised he's still doing it. Man, right. You remember a few years ago they had the thing about Edge coming back for the Royal Rumble?
He came back for a bit.
Oh man, when I saw that video, I was almost crying too. I was like, oh my god, Edge. Okay.
And there's talks he might be going to AEW because Christian's there wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Christian's back.
And he was also in Impact, right?
Yeah,
for a while.
Yeah. Christian Cage still going. Oh my god. If you ever get back into it, his storyline right now is the funniest fucking thing. So there's a championship called the TNT Championship. It's like the Intercontinental. It's like the secondary title.
Mm-hmm.
He has you remember back in the day there was like X-Pac and Kane? Like,
yeah.
Remember Kane, like the big brooding guy?
Yeah.
There's the new AEW version. His name's Luchasaurus. He's basically a luchador dinosaur kind of thing. He's like a big brooding dark character like Kane.
Really?
Christian manages him.
Okay.
Luchasaurus won the TNT title. Christian wears the title and acts like he's the champion and does nothing but tell him like people shouldn't be walking around with championships they didn't earn. And he's just wearing it nonstop, representing himself as the champion.
Nice,
but every time he looks back, he's like, I mean, him, he's the champion. And it's just this nonstop thing where he's always acting like he's this badass champion and making fun of other people that are not real champions.
Uh-huh.
And it's just this genius character, and the crowd fucking hates him.
Man.
He also rags on wrestlers that have dead dads. He makes fun of people. Like he is savage about making fun of dead parents. That's his
crazy.
character now.
That's crazy.
He made fun of Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and his dad is famously Luke Perry from 90210. So he made a whole bunch of dad jokes against him.
Oh my god, that reminds me. I was watching a stand up on Netflix. I forgot her name. You know, she's funny. I need to remember her name. But like, she did 5 minutes on her dead mom, and she was like, "Calm down. It's gonna get funny. You're gonna forget that she's dead."
Yeah,
I'm like, what? And you did. You don't. By the time you know you're done with the joke, you're like, "Oh yeah, that is sad. Never mind."
It's like Pete Davidson doing the 9/11 jokes. His dad died 9/11.
Yeah, man.
What was that guy? Oh, did you ever see that? Do you know who Steve Ranazizi is? I think his name is. He was a comedian. He was on that show called The League on FX.
I heard about the show. I never watched it.
He was an actor on there, and he's a comedian and stuff like that. He made up that he was in 9/11.
What?
And he had this story that he was basically in one of the towers in 9/11 and had this whole on story.
Uh-huh.
And then it got leaked out that no, he made it up. And then there's an episode, I think it's like the Breakfast Club, where Pete Davidson's on there with everybody, and they're talking about this guy, like listening to this guy confess that he made the whole thing up while Pete Davidson's on the Breakfast Club, you know, and his dad really died about it. And he's listening to this guy talk about his made up fucking 9/11 story. Because that's what got him famous and got him viral, was he talked about how you.
Wow.
Yeah, piece of
Damn,
shit.
fake it till you make it, but damn.
Yeah.
9/11. I was in 7th grade when 9/11 happened.
I was in 6th. Yeah, I remember I was in computer lab when it
Okay.
happened. We were on the computers, and like everybody was like dial up internet and shit like that, and we were playing fucking like E-Bombs World and shit like that.
Nah, that was a crazy world back then.
I
honestly.
remember they had this is weird. They probably still do it. You remember back in the day, you go to school and they'd wheel in the TV and it'd be strapped to the fucking thing, the big fucking like the CRT TV, and it's strapped to the fucking big ass fucking stand, and they'd have a VHS stand underneath or player underneath that, and they'd have to wheel it into each classroom that they would want to talk or use a video.
Yo, I remember when teachers used to have to use the clear papers to write down stuff on the projector.
Oh, on the projector? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Back in the days.
man, I went to back to school night with my son not long ago. Man, everything's different.
Went to one last night.
Oh my god,
The
computers.
teacher had a big touch screen, and like
Yeah, man.
teacher was. It was kind of cracking me up that this teacher had this big ass touchscreen like display of her desktop, and she's doing this PowerPoint thing. It's 2023, and she still didn't know that you can't use nails on a touchscreen.
Oh,
So she's sitting there and just trying to tap these fucking buttons with her long ass nails, and I'm like, use your actual finger.
yeah,
Just use your finger. Like,
yeah.
like, you're just cutting into the screen. You're just cutting into the screen. Like,
You know what?
she's one of those ladies that like has to have a stylus for her phone. You know what I mean?
Speaking of which, okay, so the education system. I'm not gonna get into all that. But it's funny because I met one of my son's teachers, and like it was back to school night, so you walk there, and literally it was like, I'm so and so, I'm her teacher, this is our syllabus. So yeah, and you're just like, yeah, and she just looks at you, and you just look at them, and I'm just like, I'm the parent.
Yeah.
You're sell me something.
Yeah.
Sell me something that you're here to.
Well, I mean, I would
Teach.
rather have that than this last one. Like, I have so my daughter's teacher is out like on maternity leave, so they have a sub basically representing them for like a month until Halloween, basically. And so she's not really like invested or not the real teacher.
Right.
And so like we get there and she just kind of rambles. It just rambles for like 35 minutes of just like life stories and stuff like that. And I'm just like, is anybody fucking listening to this bitch? Like, nobody's. Like, I look at all the other parents, and they're just like all looking at their watch, like, what the fuck? Like, she's talking about just random shit, like back in her day, and like she's really sweet and stuff.
Yeah.
But then she starts talking about how she has ADHD and she likes to just like she has this much of attention span, and then it starts to make sense. Like, oh, they hired this lady to teach first graders with no attention spans. And
Wow.
that was not okay.
Yeah, but it was funny because she was just like, all right. And I was like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
we'll go to the next class. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I have a daughter too that's like very I don't know the opposition to define it, but like very headstrong.
Uh-huh.
It's like even at like 5-year-old, 6-year-old when she's in kindergarten, like we had trouble with the teachers where like if a kid could tell that they can push you over, my kid would be the kid that's just gonna walk right over you. Like if you give them an inch, they're gonna give them a mile. Like my kid's very like can find the loophole and everything kind of thing. Like that's how I was. Just that brain of like, what can I do? I'm mischievous kind of shit. Like that's what my daughter just is. And so like there's been teachers that have been really great with her that are like, oh, we know how she can be.
Uh-huh.
And then there's teachers that didn't, and you can see the obvious difference.
Nice. See, school has changed a lot, and since I was little,
Yeah.
because I remember when I was little, there were classes that would teach young Latino kids to speak English, right? And now that I go back, 20 some years later, to my son's school, middle school now, now they're actually having classes to teach regular American kids how to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
That's just mind-boggling to me.
I mean, I had speech growing up just to learn how to say English words correctly.
Uh-huh. And I just like, well, what is this big change? Because in 5th grade, man, I don't know if this is too personal or not. In 5th grade, I was 1 out of 4 Mexican kids in the whole 5th grade, and now it's like more than half of school is Mexican.
Yeah.
Or Latino. I don't want to offend nobody.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's a big change.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know I don't know what this says about the future, but yeah. Like I said, my first open mic was at the Tulsa Comedy Club back in November. But besides that, I don't know. Like, did you just jump in back to doing open mics, or did you kind of? Because okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Before I even decided, me and my friend Danny, shout out to Danny, how you doing? We were thinking about doing open mics, so we were researching. We were researching about where to go, and the Tulsa Comedy Club popped up. And then I kind of looked more into it, and then the Cellar, the Starlight, Hunt, all those things came up, and I actually went to each one. The Lunevin, I actually went to each one and just looked for like 3 weeks. Just looked. I'm like, oh, how do they do it? And one day I just finally decided to go up.
Really?
Yeah, but like I said, I was first I was a fan than anything else. So
Well, mine was. I'm kind of in a unique position where, like we talked about before, mine's a drive everywhere I go. So, like, I didn't really do that. It was more like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have to waste the gas to do it. So, like, it was like one of those things where, like, I just saw it on Facebook. Like, you know what? I want to do it.
mm-hmm.
And so, like, when I go up there, I'm gonna do it. And even now, like, it's hard for me to justify. I paid off my car, paid off my house, and stuff like that. But I try to live really lean, and I DoorDash to pay for the bills right now.
Okay.
It's hard for me to justify to go to somebody's show an hour out if I'm not on it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be supportive and stuff like that, but sometimes it's a long drive. That's a lot of wasted gas. We talked about open mics. Like, we're not getting paid.
Yeah, it's an investment. It's a passion.
Yeah.
It's a passion.
Now, where I do draw the line there is, like, I also I want to support my friends and stuff like that. And also, a lot of this is networking.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're not performing, you do want to be on those crowds because you don't know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
And, dude, we met, me and you talked to each other at Shelly Belly.
Yeah.
Or whatever her name was. Shelly Belly, I think her name's.
Mainly because Roscoe, was the opener, right?
Yeah, Roscoe hosted it and invited both me and you out.
Yeah,
and we kind of hit it off just talking on the couch there.
Man,
for a bit.
Roscoe again, great guy.
Shout out to Roscoe.
Nick Danks, he's great. Isaiah, Katie Styles, love her. Trash. I mean, and whoever I'm forgetting, I'm sorry. It's just a lot of people.
There's just so much talent, and there's so many people.
Nicola, Trevor Carry On.
Trevor Carry On.
That's a monster. Shout out to Trevor. Shout out to him.
There's just so much talent here, and then there's also some people
Cepeda
that are not assholes. Like, they're good people. Cool, they're talented, and they're not assholes.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of just, like you said, I want to vibe with those people. I don't care how long you've been in the scene. Like, I don't care if you've been in the scene a year, or 3 years, 5 years, a month. if you're putting in the work and you're doing the effort and you're a good person, not really a piece of shit, I kind of want to talk to you on the podcast.
And there's like no wax on, wax off to comedy.
No.
Like you gotta keep trying. I mean, soon enough you're gonna realize it's not for you, or maybe it is.
Yeah.
But you never know. But man, I'm gonna tell you. Have you ever had a set that you actually, like an open mic or whatever, that you actually went back to your seat and you said like, I bombed?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time it was.
A lot of my sets that I've shown people, or I've shown clips. There's clips I have on YouTube that I'm not even proud of, where I'm like, that wasn't a good set, but I've shown it to other people and like, you should put that out. I'm like, okay, I guess, but like, to me, it's not good enough. Yeah, it just happened naturally.
You know what? One day I was at the cellar, and this was probably like my 5th time maybe doing an open mic. And I was there with Roscoe. Roscoe, hey, like so many people signed up, right? And he's like, "Are you gonna when do you want to go?" I'm like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
And then, oh, okay, I'll put you on first. All right, cool. So I went back to my seat, and I started talking to Connor. I forget his last name.
Farrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that him? Sorry, off the mic. Is that the one that has like really dark comedy?
Yeah, Connor Farrow.
Yes. Sorry, I'm only making one. But hey, I sat
He'll
next
be
to
on here next week.
Oh,
I just talked to him today, booked him.
Nice. I sat next, and that's the thing. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Like I sat next to him. We chopped it up. We talked.
Yeah.
And he was just a cool dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, I go back to my seat. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, so what number what's your spot? He's like, I was like, first. He's like, and I'm just like, and yeah, the first spot sucks. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's not undoable.
Yeah.
But whenever you're first, you're like, you're
setting the tone.
You're setting the tone, and yeah, that was a humbling experience.
I honestly think though that the first person and the last person, it's kind of like wrestling. Like those are good spots if the promoter or the booker knows who to put in those spots too.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing against you or anything like that, but like, it's a sink or swim kind of spot on both those spots.
Right.
If you crush it, you're going to crush it really well and set the tone. If you do bad, you're going to do really bad and set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is kind of a thing that
Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the things to do.
Yeah.
In open mics or comedy or whatever, but man, you learn what not to do.
Yeah. You learn nothing to do. I mean, everything's a lesson.
Yeah.
Everything is a lesson there.
Yeah. And then we were at the this is not I'm just gonna break down the story real fast.
Go ahead.
Somebody was doing a really racist joke. A really racist joke.
How racist was it? No,
like bad. Like I had to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like I was like, okay, it started bad. Let me keep listening. And then they brought up the racist thing again, and even more people were sounding out.
Yeah.
And I just like, yeah, this didn't go anywhere. I thought he was gonna bring it back to something funny and maybe crush it, and no, it was just a racist statement all around.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus. There's some people that get that live mic, and that's kind of like we talked about, like the Looney Bins rules sometimes on here.
I love the Looney Bin rules.
I like the Looney Bin rules. I appreciate them for what they are.
Mm-hmm. You gotta walk before you run.
Well, yeah, but not only that, but when you look at it from their point of view of like they are booking national talent and booking real people for actual paid tickets, and the open mic is before the paid guests that are already there, they're handing a live mic to a complete stranger in front of paid guests. Of course they're going to have fucking rules. Otherwise, they're just stupid.
Right.
That's just how to run a business. And when you look at it from that point of view, it's really not that bad.
No.
Because... yeah, you can't say fuck or something like that on the stage if you're fucking going on an open mic. Oh, well, work around it.
Yeah.
I had one of my best jokes there because I was scared of being too dirty, I guess.
Okay.
I have a joke where I was talking about people doing cocaine. I didn't know if they wanted me to actually say cocaine on the stage or not. You know, I could say it, but like, I didn't know how far they wanted me to go into it. So I was like, you know, all those people, and I was about to say cocaine. I was like, oh, you mean those... I know I'm gonna keep it clean here. Eric Clapton fans, I don't like that, and it made everybody laugh. And that became part of the joke now because that worked better than just saying cocaine. But yeah, it worked there because I changed it up and I didn't say, I was worried about that kind of stuff, and it let my creativity work. And sometimes you need those restrictions or those limitations to kind of get that stuff working.
And also that little challenge because it makes you change your vocabulary.
Yeah.
And then you're really being tested.
Yeah.
That's to me that's like one of the you're always doing homework.
Yeah.
You're doing homework. You're testing out. You're working on yourself. You're trying to find out if you can make a clean joke and make people laugh.
You should know your audience.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Is like I have this joke. I'm bisexual.
I was not aware.
Yeah. I've talked about it on here.
I just play.
No.
This is a really sarcastic podcast. People like and subscribe.
Well, I didn't know if I couldn't hear your sarcasm from your accent, and then I was like, "Does that make me racist?"
Man, sarcasm has gotten me in a lot of trouble. No lie, sometimes you gotta explain to people if it sounds really wild, and I'm saying it with a straight face. I probably don't mean it. So I always tell people if you're doubting on what I said, and it sounds wild to you, ask me twice.
Yeah.
And then I'll say like, no, I'm just kidding. But sarcasm, not everybody can handle sarcasm.
Well, I've had people like tell me like I'm not gay enough to do certain material. Basically, I'm not flamboyant enough to do certain material. And like I have this joke where I talk about
you're not gay enough.
Basically, yeah.
You're not Mexican enough.
Well, basically,
you're not white enough.
I'm not fully gay, so I shouldn't say the word fag, or I shouldn't say too risque shit because I'm not fully gay. Like basically, I should be up there going like this and be all flamboyant and stuff like that, and then I can say whatever I want. I have this joke where I say like I'm bi, I'm a faggot timeshare. It's a good joke, and at the same time, I know that's a deeply that word can hit different. Honestly, me and Roscoe workshopped. I was like, I've said queer timeshare, I've said gay timeshare, but faggot just hits harder. He goes, yeah, it's a better syllables. Like it's more syllables. It hits harder, and if you're allowed to say that word, say it. Like it's just like that's your word. And I worked on it multiple times, but also I change it up and like at Looney Bin, I'll say queer timeshare. It still gets around, but I know my fucking audience.
Right.
I'm not gonna drop the hard F, even though I can say it, because that's not gonna get me anything. But
can you say it though? I mean, still,
I can say it.
Oh, okay.
I can say it.
Oh, you can say.
I can say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can say it.
Like, there's so many rules now.
I know.
There's so many rules.
I sidetrack them. I do it with a wink and a nod. So that's why I'm like, I'm gay, I'm bi, I'm a faggot timeshare. I do it with a smile. And like, my opening joke, we talked about the midget thing. You were like, oh, I don't want you to be offended by it. My opening joke I talked about, and I've said it before, is I say, isn't it weird how in 2023 we still can't say the R word, but it's somehow okay again to say the word midget? And then I pause for a second and I go, it's fucking retarded. So that's my joke.
Yeah.
And I did a set with Nick Danks. Shout out to Nick Danks. He put me on the Rose Lounge.
Yeah.
And I opened with that joke. Opened with that joke. Right before I go up, a black little person walks into the bar and hops up on a bar stool right there where I'm about to perform. Like, it's close to me and you.
Wow.
And I'm like, should I do that joke? But then I'm also subscribing to that thing. I don't know which comedian said it, but like, if you're uncomfortable saying the word around that person, you shouldn't be saying that joke. Or you know what I mean? Like, if you're not confident enough to say it, you shouldn't be saying it at all. So I just fucking just did it with full confidence. He fucking laughed his ass off, and he was like, "Yeah, because I'm not making fun of midgets. I'm saying the fucking the idea of it."
I think there has to be a point where we come back and realize comedians context comedians jokes shouldn't be penalized.
No, context and intent are very important.
Yeah, because I'm a big Dave Chappelle fan, like huge. I mean, the Chappelle Show. I mean, I grew up on it.
Still, yeah.
I mean, Tom Segura, man, I'm just dropping all kinds of names in the Spanish side, man. Like, okay, I'm gonna pause this right here a little bit just to explain a little bit of how it was for me growing up. I can fully speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I was raised in Mexico till I was 9, so I already had all this language soaked in.
Yeah,
and then you come over here and learn another language, and you just keep progressing. It's kind of I can think in Spanish and think in English, so it almost feels like you're two different people.
Yeah.
And then I know it's gonna sound weird. Like I can be thinking in Spanish right now and you wouldn't know, but I'm still doing it. And but you still listen to the culture, listen to the jokes. I mean, the first night we met, I was actually at my sister's party and birthday party, and just from being there, I went and said hi to Roscoe at the comedy club, and like all these things, you know, you're trying to stretch yourself out to be yourself, and it's weird because you want to do the comedy thing, you also want to be a family person,
You're stretched thin.
Yeah, and like I said, everything's like I'm stretching myself a lot just because of that. In content too, Netflix. Look at Netflix. How many shows you don't watch because there's so many?
Yeah.
Now you gotta think about how many shows I have to watch. Well, I want to watch them too. I don't have to. It's not like forced. And now I have all this content in Spanish. I have all this content in English. I will never get around to it.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a couple friends in the Spanish side and the English side. Whenever there's like a new meme or like something went viral and I didn't get in the loop, I'll be texting this person, hey, so what's up with this girl crying out loud that there's somebody else in the airplane? Oh, well, check this out, this and this and this and this and this. And then I'm like, oh, so what's up with this, like in the Spanish side?
Yeah.
So what's up with this comedian? Why is he getting canceled? This and this and this and this. And I'm just like, oh, okay. But you also want to stay in the loop in everything you can. Yeah. And I need help. I get help.
Let me ask you this. Do you use WhatsApp?
No.
Have you ever?
Yes.
Do you have family members that use it or anything?
Not really.
I was just gonna ask because like a lot of bilingual families and stuff like that, and a lot of families that I've seen, like even my past, like WhatsApp was very prominent in those families, more so than even like regular text messaging. Like everybody had like a family chat, and it was just like a thing that happened in like a lot of bilingual companies or families that I've seen a lot. WhatsApp's very popular with like bilinguals.
Oh, WhatsApp is like probably the best messaging app in whole Latin America. Yeah. Like I believe it's because it's the first free one that you just put your phone number in it, and like we're saying, it's free. Yeah. And back in Mexico, I don't know about now, so don't quote me on anything. Yeah. But like even a few years ago, it was all about recharging your phone, like putting more money in it. There was no plans like T-Mobile or Cricket, unlimited text messaging, this and that. So something like WhatsApp came up and save a lot of people money. Yeah. So that's why it got so big.
And that's like I worked cell phones for years, like almost 15 years. I was in AT&T, UScellular, T-Mobile.
Oh, so you know a lot more than I do.
Well, just like that's where a lot of my finances came from and stuff like that. My career was in cell phone sales. Yeah, people didn't realize the differences that would happen between different countries of like. You know, you go to England or something like that, and it's not like the U.S. where it's like, okay, I'm going to put this phone on a 24-month installment plan or a 2-year contract or anything like that, and then I have my plan and stuff like that. No, England and stuff like that, you just go to the store and you buy your phone full price, and then you just buy a plan with it separately. And you just pick your carrier or whoever you want to get. Like, you just buy the iPhone or the Android, and then it's like, okay, here's 6 different, companies you want to pick your plan with, and you pick it. And that's it. Mexico and stuff like that you're talking about, it's a lot of more prepaid or just load money on load minutes and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just a different cultural setup for that country versus what we're used to in the US. And it's the jarring thing is like, I hate it. I fucking hate it. But you'd have it where like, I'd be working at T-Mobile or something like that, and you'd have people coming in from other countries and they're there for like an international plan or something like that. And it's a jarring experience to come to the US and see what our plans are like and stuff. And I hated it. I don't know where I'm going with this fucking tangent. We're just talking about fucking cell phone plan. But like, just as like the differences on that.
You gotta learn something.
Well, people be talking or be treated less because they came from like different countries like that, and they'd be like wanting those prepaid minute phones. and people would be like, oh, they're only doing
those
prepaid.
trap phones,
stuff like that. But like in certain countries, that's all it was. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's what the culture of the cell phone market was. And like when they get to the U.S., they were looked down as like lesser on, or like that. We treat that like a Metro or like a Cricket or something like that, or like the prepaid side is like the lesser cell phones in our country. Whereas in certain countries, that's all there is, or that's how the predominant thing is. And so you would have people that are like professors and fucking like, and like high paid actors or athletes and stuff like that. And they're like, they're well off, but they have prepaid service because they come from those certain countries and they'd be looked down on because of just their service. And it's like, that's just how the country was. Like,
right.
And to them, they're just like, it's just normal fucking cell phone service. That's just what they're used to.
And like I said, like apps like WhatsApp, I mean, they were a game changer.
Yeah.
And no wonder Facebook bought it. I mean, they knew what they have. They knew all the people that already signed into it. I mean, because you also got to think of, man, we can get into so many conversations here.
Yeah.
It's all about the numbers. The more people that are into an app, the more valuable it is to a company. Even though it's free to us, it's worth.
It's the ad revenue.
Yeah.
The ad revenue and the ad information you're getting from it.
Yeah.
I watched The Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on Matt.
That's a great show.
It's a fantastic show.
I mean, look at me. You wouldn't even think I watch all these things, man.
It's a great show.
Like one of my favorite movies. It's gonna sound weird,
Babe.
Oh, babe. Oh, the piggy.
That'll do, pig.
It's Dodgeball.
Oh, I love Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, man.
Dodge and dive.
Yeah. Like there's movies like that cannot be made now, but and I mean Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder would never get made now.
Oh my God! That's another thing that we went back to. It's not about what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's the intent.
Yep.
And I mean, you can tell it was made pure for laughter. We're trying to serve a certain type of demographic doing this movie, and I cracked up.
Do you remember like they had protests from like the Special Olympics or like people with needs about like them saying never go full retard and stuff like that in that movie, but they didn't have protests for Robert Downey Jr. playing a black guy.
You cannot hate Robert Downey Jr. though.
But the genius of that was like he was playing an actor that like they're making fun of actors.
A British
that would do that.
actor.
Yeah.
Not even an American. A British actor.
Australian.
Australian. Yes, there you go. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
Don't kill me. It's mistakes. Humans. Yeah.
British criminals.
Exactly, man.
That's what Australians are. You know that, right?
Yeah.
There's some history for you.
There we go.
We're gonna get that Australian demographic up. Go eat
like
some
and subscribe.
Go choke on your fucking Vegemite.
Positivity 2023, guys. We're tired of this negativity.
Yeah.
This whole
I just don't like drama.
Trolling, drama. That might have been cool. Maybe back in 2015. I don't know what's cool. But like, let's just come back to being supportive and being cool. Let's just be cool people.
Well, it's like I don't even want this to be a fucking gatekeeping thing.
No,
I don't want this to turn into that. I want this to be for everybody that's putting in the fucking work. You know what I mean? Like we talked about. Like if you're doing the work to be a comedian or an entertainer in Tulsa, come on.
Yeah. There you go.
I never want to be like a gatekeeper or label like that. And like I've encountered that shit here from time to time. And like my response is, let's just fucking bulldoze them down.
Yeah, and then I
mean, that's just how I feel. Like I'll stay quiet, I'll build my own empire, kind of thing, and I'll bulldoze you the fuck down.
Yeah, like the SWAT team.
Yeah, like I just maybe this is just getting too meta. or something
no,
like that.
you talk, man.
Well,
talk.
My biggest thing is I hate wasted potential. I can see something and I can see like the potential in something. Like you ever watch a good B+ movie and you're like, man, if they tweaked like just a little bit, it would be a fucking like all-time great. And it's kind of a little bit of disappointment. We talked about Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That movie was a good B movie.
Yeah.
If they
the remake, guys, 2017.
The 2017 remakes of Power Rangers. If they tweaked a few little things,
like and subscribe.
Yeah. If they tweaked a few things, got rid of the fucking Krispy Kreme, and made Rita a little bit better, I think some things could have been tweaked, and they could have made a pretty good franchise out of that.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just a lost franchise.
Yeah. Well, apparently, they're rebooting the series now, and
Netflix.
Yo, did you watch the 30-year anniversary special?
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Wow.
They dealt with Trini's death pretty drastically.
Yeah. They actually said Rita killed her.
I know. Rita. Spoiler alert for those that don't know. in the 30th anniversary on Netflix of it's like called like Once and Again, Power Rangers Once and Again or something like that. Once Upon a Time or something like that.
Yeah, once a ranger, always a ranger.
Yeah.
And there we lost our female viewers again. Don't worry.
For the first 5 minutes of the show, they fucking had Rita Repulsor murder Trini. Just straight up murder her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's the driving force of this whole fucking show.
Whenever I saw it, I was like, oh, this will get good.
And then like the two, like my favorite unintentionally hilarious part of that show was that you could obviously tell that they could only get Zach and Billy back.
Yeah.
And then like everybody else in the suits were just dramatic actors in the Green and Red Ranger suits. So like when Trini dies, you see Billy and Zach take off their helmets. They're like, like it's all good. And then you see like the Green Ranger, Red Ranger in the background going, no! It was just a dude in a suit.
Yeah, because I mean, even think. I know we were talking about drama like in Tulsa comedy, but even shows like that, they had drama behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And sometimes those documentaries about the drama behind the scenes is actually even better than the actual series.
Yeah. I mean, that's what replaced the first, the red, the yellow, and the Black Ranger on the Mighty Morphin.
Yeah. Money.
Yeah, money. They wanted more money, and they were like, nope, we're going to recast them.
But we're going back to the actors and writers strike.
Yeah.
Money on something that's really profitable, it's always going to be an inconvenience.
Yeah,
because I mean, look at it. It was first of all, it was really cheap to make it. Well, not cheap because everything costs money.
Yeah,
everything costs money, guys.
But compared to everything else around that time, it was super cheap because they were just borrowing footage from Japan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean the series was Super Sentai, then became the Power Rangers in the U.S. Then Mexico, Latin America, and this is kind of weird because he bought the rights to the Super Sentai, right?
Yeah,
and then they bought the rights worldwide, and now wherever like Super Sentai is still just Japan only, and then Power Rangers is worldwide. But it's just like crazy because they bought the like. You make the show, somebody wants to buy the rights for outside Japan, and you're fine with it. You just kind of sold your whole legacy away.
The same thing happened to Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Transformers was Takara Tomy, and and Takara was a company.
Yeah.
And all these different toys were Diaclone, and like there were like 3 different companies in Japan.
Yeah. Shout out to Toy Galaxy. I mean, Secret Galaxy.
Secret Galaxy now, yeah.
Man, there's so much. I don't know why I get like really excited when I watch shows that tell you stories behind that. Did you ever saw the Toys That Made Us on Netflix?
Yeah, on Netflix. It's a great show.
Oh my god, I can watch every episode.
The movies that made us also.
Yeah. Great shows, man.
That was fascinating. Like, there's even shows like movies. I'm not like the best Nightmare Before Christmas guy. Like, that's not my favorite movie of all time. My kids love it.
Yeah,
but like even watching,
it's not even that long of a movie if you think about it.
It's not even a Tim Burton movie.
No, exactly. But they slapped the name. They slapped the name of him on
that
it.
was a fascinating watch, just to learn the backstory about that.
Yeah. And then, because he was doing Batman.
Yep.
And that's why he couldn't really work on it. But, you know, you gotta send your B characters to, handle that for you.
One I will recommend to you. It's on Max. And I don't know if you have Max. I'll give you my login if you need it.
Sure.
They did so like
no, he's not giving me his password.
No, we're not password sharing.
No.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit that notification bell.
Wrong.
But so you know James Gunn. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
So like he's the head of DC now. Because like now he's gonna be over all DC films with another guy. They're basically trying to lay out the blueprint of like what to do with the DC universe because the DC movies have not been that great.
Hey, sorry to cut you off. Ezra Miller and Kane,
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors is not the same crime, guys.
No.
Let's just put it out.
No,
straight how it is. It's not the same crime. And
not at all.
Not at all. And please stop defending Day.
Yeah. Ezra.
Yeah. Because he hurt a lot of people, but that's it. It's not the same crime. It's not the same crime.
Anyway, yeah, The Flash was an okay movie.
I liked it. Seen it.
It's on Max now. They just not put it on this week. If you're a Supergirl fan, you may not be the best entertained, but like if you're a Batman fan, you'll like it.
Oh,
that
girl that's playing Supergirl is gorgeous, though.
Oh, she's good. I mean, you'll watch it. I mean, she's not in it a lot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's basically like a glorified cameo.
Okay.
It's obvious that there was more to her character, and like she's barely in like maybe 10 minutes, if that.
Really?
She's not in it a lot.
So, like, I mean, the trailers are like half of her. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, like when she's flying beside the Batmobile and stuff, that's most of her scenes.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like she's not in it a lot.
I wanted to watch Blue Beetle. I might go around and see it.
I've heard that my daughter just went to go see it with my parents, and they said it was pretty cute. It was good. I've heard it's really good for like a bilingual standpoint. And like people talking like it's the first movie that's kind of like made the quote unquote Spanglish seem authentic in a show. Where like the family's naturally flowing between English and Spanglish or Spanish, and conversation, and you could tell it was actually written by people that have that dialect and language.
That's actually what I heard.
Yeah,
so
like, it felt authentic, is what people were saying. Like it actually sounded like the first, like full on, like a Spanglish kind of, if you will.
Yeah. So authentic. The difference between El Chico and taco trucks.
Yeah,
Please, guys. El Chico is not authentic.
Taco Bell.
No.
It's diarrhea for $5 in a box.
If anything costs $5, it's not good for you to digest. Man, speaking of which, I remember when, like, let's say buying a combo meal from McDonald's was $5. Now they're like almost 10 or 10.
Dude, a kid's meal there is $6.
Whoa.
If you get a Happy Meal, it's like $5.89
Whoa.
for a 4-piece nugget.
That's
Inflation,
man.
Yeah,
inflation is crazy.
My favorite, like I told you, I DoorDash. I DoorDash late at night after shows and stuff like that. So I'll DoorDash till like 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Taco Bell in Bartlesville is hilarious. Shout out to that Taco Bell crew. They'll probably listen to this. I had this dude, and I actually got a video on it. I need to fucking put it on TikTok. I did these chronicles of like this dude getting trapped in the drive-thru and just road raging. Just sitting there like revving his engine and trying to like push the car in front of him forward. Like that's somehow gonna make them get their food faster. Like, and he's just sitting there and he's just like fucking, you can tell he's tapping, he's getting pissed, he's waiting in line for like 30 minutes. I'm recording this and like he's yelling at the fucking Taco Bell staff. He gets his money back from a refund, and then he fucking throws his drink at the fucking window. And I have it all on video.
Oh.
Where he's like, fuck you! And he throws the fucking drink at the fucking wall.
And
I'm just like, these people are fucking stupid.
Some people just need to breathe sometimes, man. Or, I don't know, man.
Well, like, there's also this I'm sure you've noticed it. It usually has to do with rich old white people. They have this mentality of like...
Wait, the perch? No, what?
Well, the mentality of like the fast food, or like ever since COVID, retail and fast food workers, I'm sure you've noticed, traditionally, if they're getting those jobs, most of the time don't give a fuck. If you go to McDonald's, it's rare you'll find an employee that actually cares.
Yeah,
anymore.
man.
I mean, they're getting paid minimum wage, and like they just don't care. Like they're just there for their job, and they're just like anything extra, they couldn't give two shits. I especially noticed that at DoorDash late at night, because most of these places like Taco Bell, McDonald's, anything that's open late night around Oklahoma, for those that don't know, those late night crews may have at max 3 employees.
Yeah.
And they're cashier, cooks, dishwashers, moppers, everything. And this Taco Bell in Bartlesville, there's 3 employees from like 11 o'clock to like 4 a.m. And the line wraps around the fucking building, and it's like 45-minute waits inside the line. You're trapped. That's what the Taco Bell's like. And they're working as fast as they can, but it's only 3 employees.
Yeah, man.
And like if I DoorDash, sometimes I'll have 2 orders, and they're like, Taco Bell, if you DoorDash, you know, like those family meal deals.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 2 o'clock and stoners want food, they're not going to order 1 combo. They're going to order the 50 fucking tacos, because that's the best deal.
Right.
So late at night, add in, everybody's trapped in line. There's only 3 employees, and all these orders are coming in multiples. And they're like 25 tacos each, 30 tacos each, and it's just backing up these lines. And that's just what DoorDash is now at these small towns like this. And it's so sad to see these employees just push to their brink, and you can tell that they're fucking breaking down. I've seen employees cry.
Oh,
I've seen people just fucking shaking and fucking like rocking themselves.
The food industry is tough, guys.
Yeah,
it's tough. Like I did serving. I've done bartending before, and it's tough. It's hard sometimes. You feel like you're going insane because of all these orders. Yeah. And I mean, even like fully staffed restaurants, they're still struggling.
Yeah. And but then you get what I was getting at is that you get this like there's this other side of it that these people are like, well, they should be trying harder for these jobs or something like that. You know, if they worked harder, maybe they care more about their jobs. Or there's this people have this mentality that like because they're not trying hard enough. Like this generation sucks because we don't care about our jobs, or we don't. We're not trying the best at some of these jobs, and they're using like the fast food industry and like the retail industry as like the reasons. And I'm like, they've kind of learned that they don't have to. They don't care. Like nobody cares about them. Like,
I mean, just think about it. I mean, a lot of kids are finding, and I want to say kids, but it's anybody that's 18, 19. But to me, they're kids. They're finding out ways to make more money than to have a real job.
Yeah.
I mean, DoorDash is one of them, and you work your own hours, this and that. You don't have to go to a brick and mortar place anymore.
Yeah. Well, like me personally, like I said, I'm in a very different situation where like I'm divorced. I paid off my house, paid off my car, so my bills are pretty low. I'm able to DoorDash right now while I'm achieving my goal for my dream of comedy and podcasting. Like I'm keeping the bills taken care of. I'm taking care of my kids, you know, everything like that.
Like a man should.
Yeah. I've never had to ask anything. Like I take care of that shit. But I also see it where I'm like, I can DoorDash now and in an hour so I can make a couple, you know, like at least a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Compared to being in that Taco Bell where they're fucking just
treated
like dog shit for about the same pay, if not worse.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely,
and sometimes it just comes down to like people not knowing the alternatives or not being in a situation where they can even do it, because some people don't even have the cars to do the DoorDash. Like in a perfect world, honestly, man, I wish I had a 4-door. I'd be Ubering around here.
Yeah.
I'd make a lot more money. Shout out Sarah Buntain. Sarah Buntain was telling me about how she made money on Ubering before she got her a new job. And that's what she was doing this summer, was Ubering in between stand-up comedy.
Yeah, one time I went to Dallas for a soccer game. Hello. A soccer game. Anyways. And our Uber driver, it was me and my brother, and we were just talking to the Uber driver, and he was telling me that dude was making like $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I work my own hours. He's like, the only invest I make is into my own car.
Yeah.
And he's like, in next year or so, I'm gonna buy another car.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's his model. He's like, he thought it was funny. We came all the way from Oklahoma. He's like, I drove somebody to Oklahoma once.
Yeah.
All the way from Dallas, and that was like $400. I have done all kinds of jobs, manual work, construction, welder. I'm actually trying to get off of welding. So in a few months, I'm gonna take
You can make some good money welding though.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong, but I want to go to the next step, which is becoming an inspector.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do any manual work, and you still make more than them, than a welder will, and you're just gonna put in paperwork, tablet work, that's another thing that people don't realize. You don't have to. Okay, so in my field, there's gonna people that they're on their late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah,
you can tell they're worn out.
Yeah,
and I don't want to get to that point.
Well, my thing is just like, I just want my daughter to have options.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want her to have to where that's the only path.
Right.
If that's your path and you want to take it, by all means, take it. But I want you to be able to have options. If you want to go to college, you can. If you want to do a career on social media or something like that, by all means. If you want to go to a tech college, do it.
Yeah.
But don't give up hope on what your dreams or something like that. Aspire for something.
Right.
Don't just don't just be defeated. Like, this is life. Okay, I'm just gonna go to a 9 to 5 until I die.
No.
And I don't want
that's
that
not
for
life.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, maybe one day we're all gonna pop. I'm hoping for everybody in Tulsa, in the Tulsa area, even Oklahoma City, everybody should pop, and hopefully
everybody should have goals.
Yeah,
everybody should have goals, big, small, obtainable goals, things to work towards. Even if you're working a 9 to 5, I'm not bashing anybody working a job. Get a job. Everybody needs a job.
Yeah,
but make it work towards something. Don't just do it. And like, if you have a dream or something like that, use that as a fucking basis. Start your savings, put it towards something. Do something with your life outside of just working a job for somebody else, unless that's exactly what you want to be. And then by all means, do it.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own path.
Work smart. Work smart. That's all. And sometimes, like, you gotta realize if you work in let's say a place where you have a manager or a supervisor, get into that place that you're in, and then work on your way to become your supervisor. Yeah. And then work on the way to become his supervisor.
Aspire. Just aspire to have goals and go for the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just, it'll keep you young. It'll keep you alive too. Because I mean, if you don't have any goals or stuff like that, you're gonna die quick. Yeah,
it goes back to the whole investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can imagine it, you can do it. I mean, look at this. You're doing a podcast, and clearly we grew up seeing people doing podcasts, and there we are.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, like, I vividly remember, like, I loved this is long, but, like, I remember Johnny Carson. Like, I remember, like, before he went to the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, but I remember, like, my parents showing me old Carson and stuff like that. And, like, that thing of, like, when a comedian would do a stand-up set on Carson and Carson liked him so much he would call him over to the couch. That meant you were fucking made.
Yeah.
Like, if Carson laughed at your set, was like, come over to the couch, we're going to talk.
Yeah, we're going to interview.
You got fucking made. And then that kind of pulled over to the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and then Conan did it a little bit, stuff like that. But it kind of lessened after that. Letterman did a little bit.
Yeah.
But I always remember that shit. And to me now, that is Kill Tony. Kill Tony is that now in Comedians in 2023.
Yeah.
You could do a 1 minute set on there and get made.
That's an amazing show also.
It's an amazing show. But Austin is now it's like the new mecca of comedy in this age. And once a month or once a week on Mondays, people go up there and do 1 minute sets. And people like Hans Kim. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Hans Kim a year ago was living in his van. He was fucking homeless. And he did a 1 minute set on Kill Tony. And now he opens for Joe Rogan and shit.
Yeah.
It was just in fucking Tulsa, selling out the fucking Bricktown.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
that's a year. And so, like, that to me is inspiring. That shit where I'm like, okay, they did the work and they fucking were ready for the opportunities. You know what I mean? I kind of want to do that kind of shit. And I want to be able to, like, have my kids inspired to that kind of shit. Like, do whatever you want to do. Just fucking put the effort into it and inspire.
Yeah, you always got to be supportive to, especially whatever your kids want to do.
Yeah.
Too, you know, if they say they want to do this and they have an idea, they have a plan, listen. Yeah. Listen, just be supportive.
Yeah.
And then, because we were also talking about, oh, okay. So sorry. I was listening to an interview with rapper Killer Mike. I don't know if you heard of him.
I love Killer Mike. Yeah.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Run the Jewels.
Run the Jewels. There you go. I mean, I'm
a big hip hop head too. Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling, it was in another podcast, the Joe Budden podcast, which is a big hip hop one. If you guys never heard of it. And he was telling.
He didn't say Joe Biden. He said Joe Budden.
Budden.
Yeah.
And then Brandon. You know what? I never understood that till somebody explained to me.
Yeah. Then you're just like, wow, you guys went to that much of extreme.
Yeah.
Like, I just looked at it like, wow, that's even more pathetic. Like,
some people be petty.
Yeah.
And he was explaining how he told his mom when he was like 14, I just want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
And she said, is that what we're doing? Then that's what we're doing. And look at him. He's successful.
Yeah.
He's one of the best rappers alive.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys heard his new album. Like, he just dropped like a couple months ago. It's amazing.
Really?
One of the best.
Solo album?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of the best rap albums ever. It makes you feel like you're still in 2001 listening to like the real hip hop, you know?
I've been listening to like, so you know Tom Segura stuff. Have you heard of Czarface? Listen to Czarface. You'll fucking love them. Especially if you like this kind of shit.
Okay.
Czarface is one of Tom Segura's favorite rappers or rap groups. It's like 3 people. The flow sounds like Jay-Z, but it's a white dude. And they bust in sound effects and references to like Marvel, comic, wrestling, just like this pop culture shit. But it's really good shit. Like,
okay.
My favorite
X-Men, I can listen to that any day.
My favorite X-Men is Nightcrawler.
Okay.
They have a song called Nightcrawler. So that's where I officially found it. Like, I even have Nightcrawler right here. Like, he's my favorite.
Okay.
But like their beats, do you know who MF Doom is?
Yeah, I was actually about to say MF Doom.
MF Doom has done several albums with them.
Yeah.
And like before he died, some of his last stuff.
R.I.P. MF Doom, man. Yeah.
Some of his last stuff was with Czarface. And like
nice. Dude, rap snitches.
Just awesome beats.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I love this shit. Recommend Czarface. Very, very good.
I'm gonna bump into this on the way home.
They have one called Nightcrawler, and they also do a lot of shit with Wu-Tang. Ghostface Killah in a lot of stuff.
See, this type of hip hop will never die.
This is with Method Man. This is called Nightcrawler.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but this is amazing. This is amazing music.
Like it's, and this is stuff that came out in the last like 2 years. It sounds like 90s hip hop.
Yeah. The bass lines.
Yeah.
I know we were talking earlier about Andrew Schultz and his podcast.
Yeah.
Have you seen the episode with Mexican OT?
No.
Oh my god, man! You want?
You're talking about Whiskey Ginger, or Andrew Schultz? You're talking about Flagrant.
Flagrant.
I was thinking of Andrew Santino.
No.
Andrew Schultz with Flagrant.
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh man, you wanna laugh? That dude is hilarious. He's a rapper from the Houston area, not Houston, and he's gonna be big. You can already tell when somebody's gonna be like one of the biggest stars in rap, and he's next.
You need to find. There's a Flagrant episode that honestly got them really popular. It was right around the time they stopped being Flagrant 2 and went to Flagrant. They had a trans porn star on there.
Yeah, I saw that episthink
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And it had that one black dude that was like enthralled with her.
Because he was like, I think what happened
that was like the only porn he jerked off to or something like that.
Like they had him on before in an episode.
And he talked about her.
He talked about her. And then like next thing you know, they brought her in and her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was very passable.
Yeah.
Like she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
A real good looking lady.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I was cracking up the whole episode because he was starstruck.
Yeah.
And you can tell when somebody's like starstruck is even better because they're so passionate. They're like,
it's like, what was the porn star that broke her ass during TwitchCon?
Huh?
You know,
oh no!
She jumped in the ball pit.
She jumped into the ball pit. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and she cracked her back. She broke her back.
Okay. Yeah.
Because she basically broke her spinal or her tailbone.
Oh yeah, man.
Because they didn't have it very foamy.
And see, there's some things you can do for content, and that's not one of them.
Well, she was famous. Adriana Chechnik or something like that is what her name is. She was famous because like there's a viral video that on Two Bears, Bert and Tom were talking about her, and she was talking about like on this like live. She was talking with fans. She's like, yeah, I have a DP on Friday, a DP on Saturday, a lesbian scene on Sunday, and then a DP on Monday. So I'm gonna get worked out really tight. And like she was just nonchalant talking about how much she's gonna get double penetrated. I'm like, and they were like, wow, like that's just how you talk about it, like. And so like they were always enthralled with her, like how she was just so open about it. But yeah, she was the one that broke her tailbone at TwitchCon,
Wow.
and then they had her on, and she was talking about how like it fucked up her career and stuff like that, and like how like she couldn't do certain scenes and stuff like that, and like.
Oh yeah, after that,
Yeah.
I mean, if your whole career depends on you being able to move.
Well, especially because like her career was like when she does scenes, like she's like the one that's like almost like a contortionist kind of thing, where she's like bending really hard, like leg over her head and stuff like that. And so like
full pretzel.
Yeah, like full pretzel. So like it's like now she has to do it with like spinal injuries and she can't do it, and so she can't be herself.
That just sounds painful.
And she was talking about how like she just can't perform porn as best as she used to, and like the struggle is real.
It is real. It is real.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. Yeah, I heard about that because I mean, and then she just like straight up fell flat.
Oh, if you see that video, did you ever see it?
Yeah.
She like does a bounce. She does like a little bounce.
Oh my God!
Big Cinnamon some sense of her own.
You good?
Great victory there. I can't get out. Are you okay? Are you okay? She's held down by the piffle medic.
Gravity.
No, she's fine.
Because she's on the little platform where she dives into it, and like you can tell, like as soon as she hits, she's like,
I don't know how old she is. How old is she?
She's like late 20s.
Okay, yeah, late after 25, guys. If you break something, it's not coming back.
No,
you're not coming back from it.
And then she had to still, it's like live on Twitch, and she still has to like perform like cut, like I'm paid.
No.
I can't get. It was like watching Vince McMahon when he blew out his quads. Did you ever see that?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Pull it up. There was a botch at the Royal Rumble. Do you know what the Royal Rumble is?
Yes.
So, for those that don't know, the Royal Rumble happens, and how you win is you knock your opponent over the top rope, and both feet must touch the ground.
Yeah, they have to touch the ground.
Yeah, and there was a botch in the main event at the end of the thing where both Batista and Cena landed at the same exact time.
Yeah, I remember that. And
so it was a botch.
I was still into wrestling when that happened.
But it wasn't supposed to happen like that. They were not supposed to land at the exact same time. It was supposed to be like a millisecond off, and like Cena, or I can't think Cena was supposed to win, but it didn't happen. So McMahon calls an audible and just runs out there and throws his jacket down all hot and shit.
At the exact
and he's like,
same time, leaving a big question as to who won the fight.
He's storming out there and he slides in the ring and blows both of his quads as he does it, and has to stay sitting down.
On his way
into
the ring, he tore both of his quads and was forced to sit in the ring because he couldn't move. He then decided to just let the two battle it out again as he sat there watching Batista come out on top.
Yeah. both quads, and he couldn't get up or anything, but he still had to act and basically save the angle and be like, restart the match. And he has both of his fucking quadricep muscles tearing off the bone.
Oh my God, man. Oh, that just looks so painful, man. And I can by aging, you can tell when something's gonna hurt.
Well, that also comes down to like those, like when he's a bodybuilder at that age too. Like it's not gonna stay up very well.
Like if we fall, if we just trip right now, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt bad.
I felt it a few weeks ago. Like I have 2 bulged discs in my neck from a car wreck in January. I wrecked my car, and I have partial paralysis in my arm. So, like, if I lift it up too much, or if I lift too much stuff, or I do too much with this arm, my arm will just go to sleep.
Okay.
It just happens. And so, a couple weeks ago, I was driving back from Tulsa, and, like, you remember when, like, Tulsa or Owasso and stuff like that was running out of gas?
Like, during the storms?
Like, just out, like, you go to Quick Trip, there's no gas.
Oh, okay.
I went to the Quick Trip on the Collinsville exit, like, on 75?
Yeah.
I went there, and me and my daughter were in the car, my youngest, and we were meeting somebody there to sell something or something like that. And I was like, okay, I'll just get gas there. All the gas pumps are closed. There's no gas in Collinsville. And I'm like, cool, I guess I have to drive back to Bartlesville, and I'll go back to the Mondays or the other gas station on the way. They were out of gas. So I get like a block, or like I could see the hill of Bartlesville coming in, and I run out of gas. And so I had to call my sister, and she came in with a gas can. And long story short, I fell on my shoulder when I tripped and fell. And for like the rest of the day, it's just fucking out. Just done. Like I'm just whopping around like this. And it's just one of those things that happens now. And like I fell on it because I tripped off the curb and I fell on it. And like it's still, like I can still feel it and stuff. And I went to a specialist 2 weeks ago. We're probably going to do surgery. So that's going to be scheduled soon, probably by the end of the year. Surgery on my neck. Yeah. Yeah.
No insurance, huh?
I have insurance.
Oh, okay, cool. Cause
it'll be covered.
Cause prices are crazy right now. Yeah. So try. If you're past 25, don't think that you're still flexible. You're not. We're all aging. We're not getting any younger. I feel like we're just talking.
Yeah,
away.
man.
Like catching up with old friends.
Dude, I told you that's how it's gonna kind of start. We just go from there.
Yeah.
What else would you like to talk about before we wrap it up?
Man, I don't know.
I've enjoyed this.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have enjoyed it too. It almost feels like you naturally just bring up the conversations.
So you're saying I'm good at my job?
Hey, you got something
like,
going.
share, subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. Now, if you agree or disagree with anything, still comment, still like.
Leave us a comment down below and tell us what you think.
Yeah, and tell your friends. We're always gonna be around in the Tulsa area, doing some shows here and then. Yeah, you got your open mic now every other Thursday now.
I'm not officially the host full time.
Okay.
I was just that for that one time. I'm hoping to come back. I'd love to come back.
Hey, maybe when we're playing this,
yeah,
you know, everything's gonna be settled down. So
I mean, he said I did a great job, and I thought I did a great job. And...
No, you did, man. You did. Like I told you that night. You brought out the monsters.
Yeah,
and by that I mean like everybody said it was great.
Yeah.
You know, there was no I don't feel like there was a quiet moment in that. There was laughing.
I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah, and man, shout outs to everybody, man, that's doing this. It's not easy. We're so brave.
That's the way you snuck that in. It was so good. Bravery on Unloading Meat.
Woo.
My struggle. No, we don't want to say that in German.
Well, like that remember that South Park episode when Carmen's mom was like just hooking up with like German people?
And she's like, oh, I know. Scheisse.
Yeah.
It was the movie, wasn't it?
Was it the movie?
It was the movie whenever they're on the internet and they're like, is that Cartman's mom? Like, oh, that's Cartman's mom. And it's like a German Scheisse video. And she's like, Scheisse video. And she's like, oh, yeah.
Yo, programming has changed a lot. We were watching things so young that were like, they're so cancelable right now.
Yeah.
Things have changed. Some things have changed for the better.
Yeah.
You know, 2023.
I will say this. They brought back Animaniacs, and it's still fucking good.
I did see that. I was really excited. I was really excited when I saw that.
Me and my daughter watched it on Hulu now, and she's loving it. She's like,
Yeah,
"This
yeah.
is fucking." She's not. She's 6, but she's not saying fucking. Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said it's great.
Yeah, that was a great show growing up, man. I'm telling you. We're missing. I know we have a lot of new shows right now, and we're kind of criticizing that they don't come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
But some of this stuff that they keep bringing back, it makes people look back at the old episodes, and they were so creative.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know people are gonna say, "Oh, now TV's trash." The old timers are gonna say that, but you also gotta go back and see what they were watching, and you can tell the writing was good.
Yeah.
And the writing, the character development, everything was, everybody took time to do it. With content, with music, with TV shows. I mean, music.
Yeah.
And I mean, one. I'm not criticizing new music now, but you gotta admit it. Songs are now 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just because we're holding such
The TikTok
short
phase and everything. Everything's
attention
viral.
span,
Yeah.
and it's all about the hooks. Everything's a business.
Yeah.
Everything's a business, guys.
Well, I mean, and also like there's the law of diminishing returns and like quality versus quantity and stuff too. Like we can kind of wrap it up here with this. Treat everything like the Rocky franchise, guys. Rocky 1 won an Academy Award. Sylvester Stallone won a fucking Academy Award for writing for Best Picture for Rocky. I think it's Best Picture, Best Writing, Screenplay.
right.
Rocky 4 has a fucking robot butler.
People forget about that.
And Rocky 5, he has Tommy Gunn, and we don't talk about Tommy Gunn.
Right.
That movie sucked.
I wonder what happened to the robot, especially now.
Remember that fucking robot in 3 and 4?
Since they made Creed, the Creed, which is the continuation to Rocky, what happened to the robot?
I don't know.
By that time, I mean, in the progression of time, it should have been like the T-1000 by then.
It's 4 when he fights the Russian, right?
Ivan?
3. Yeah. The 3 or 4?
I think it's 3.
3. It's 3. Which one's Thunderlips then? That's Hulk Hogan. Is that 3 or 2? So 1.
There's somebody screaming on their screen right now.
Okay, we're going through the Rocky thing. 1 is he fights Apollo and loses. 2 is the rematch, right? And he wins. 3 I thought was Thunderlips with Hulk Hogan.
I think it was 3. I think it was 3.
And then 4 was the Ivan was the Russian.
Yeah.
That kills Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty decent one, except for the robot. And then 5 is
Rocky
Gunn.
4.
There is a recut though. I thought there was a recut of that, like the one where he fights the Russian. I thought they recut it like recently. They did a director's cut or something like that, and it's like supposed to be like a reimagining. That's a new thing too. The fucking Godfather trilogy did that.
What do you mean?
So Godfather's 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
A lot of people hate 3. Because it's a drop in quality from the first 2.
It was, but I mean, it still wrapped it up.
It still wrapped it up. But a lot of people feel it's not as great as the first 2.
Oh no, because the second one is almost
a masterpiece.
A masterpiece. There you go.
So a couple years ago, if you go on Vudu, so I have it. There was a recut called like the Ballad of something or something like that. It's a recut of the third one, but it's more like in line of like the director's vision apparently or whatever.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be a lot better than what 3 was. It's supposed to be basically a way of resalvaging 3. And we've kind of had that lately. Some movies do that. Like they did that with several times with Blade Runner. Blade Runner had like 5 different cuts.
Okay.
And
you know the movie that I kind of want to watch the full director's cut, and I know it's not going to be able to, they're never going to release it. Why? Eyes Wide Shut.
With Tom Cruise?
Yes.
And Nicole Kidman. That's the one where they fucking on screen?
Yeah, and the whole cult thing.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact for people that don't know, that movie had to be cut down so much. Like they took so many scenes out because the studio didn't feel comfortable releasing the whole thing, and they cut it down. Like what we got is still rated R.
Yeah.
But in reality, this movie was supposed to be amazing, and you know how they were all occultish, and they were talking about like, you don't know who these people running this society are.
So like maybe it's just like Mandela effect or whatever, but like I confused that movie a lot with the other Tom Cruise movie around that time, Vanilla Sky.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like a lot of the plot points, I need to watch those again separately because like my mind confuses those movies a lot.
Yeah.
Vanilla Sky was fucking weird.
It was weird. Man, I know we've been talking for like 3 hours, Jared. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
We still can get into a lot more things.
There's always another episode.
Man, we haven't talked about conspiracies.
Nah.
Oh, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and do that. Conspiracies. Hopefully the actor strike is done.
Yeah. Hopefully get some money. Mauricio, where can everybody find you? If they want to book you.
On Facebook for sure. Mauricio Flores, my name. Instagram and everything like that. Now I'm actually gonna try to make a separate page.
I'd recommend it.
More professional than what I have going on right now, and it'll be coming soon.
Well, man, thank you for coming on for this extended episode. It's going to be a really extended episode because, like, I don't think we're going to cut very much. It's going to be a good episode.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity, but sometimes quantity comes in too.
Yeah.
Mauricio, thank you so much for joining us. I totally didn't just do another take on the exit.
Are we doing another? I also have to pop my headphones off.
You're good. Guys, this has been Unloading Meat. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. That's Mauricio. Take care, guys.
Thank
Peace.
you, guys. Hey, love.
Peace and love.
Unloading the meat. 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 I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is.
Bye. Have a great time.